I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. At a House Oversight Committee hearing on Wednesday, Representative Rashida Tlaib spoke about the investigation into the Washington Commanders. The Michigan Democrat grilled the NFL commissioner about Dan Snyder's involvement with the organization. The Washington Commanders owner has been embroiled in controversy over allegations of sexual harassment and a toxic culture in the team. Here's more from her questioning.
Thank you so much. And I just want to commend my colleague. This is why lived experience is so incredibly important. As a survivor of sexual harassment, it was my first job outside of college. I can tell you it is so incredibly important that Congress leads on this issue in making sure that everyone is safe away from discrimination. Again, that can be incredibly traumatic and can last a very long time with people as they move from career to career. When dozens of women came forward with allegations of a toxic workplace at the Commanders, team owner Dan Snyder stated, and I quote, "I have admittedly been too hands-off as an owner and have allowed others to have day-to-day control to the detriment of our organization." Commissioner, you were personally briefed on internal investigation into the Commanders, as you know, and sitting here today, do you believe that Dan Snyder was hands-off team owner? Was he a hands-off team owner, sir?
In my judgment.
Yes or no? Was he hands-off?
The owner is responsible for the workplace.
Yeah. Okay. The committee has recently obtained evidence shows that exactly how involved Dan Snyder was in fueling the toxic workplace environment. The committee conducted a deposition of Dave Popkin, who was chief operating officer of the Commanders for a number of years. He worked with Mr. Snyder every single day. Do you want to know? He said basically, this is what he said to us, that he said, quote, both hands on when it came to Mr. Snyder. So he's very directly involved. Mr. Popkin also detailed his role in decisions big and small. And I'd like to talk about one of those decisions, if I may, Commissioner, that I found particularly troubling. In the fall of 2002, the team hired a new head coach who according to Mr. Popkin, quote, groped a member of the public relations staff at an event. According to Mr. Popkin, he consulted with Mr. Snyder about what to do, even though, as he said, quote, I knew what we were going to do. Do you know what he was talking about, Commissioner, here? And of course, it was nothing. He was going to do nothing. Mr. Popkin said that he, Mr. Snyder, decided, quote, we weren't going to confront the new coach. Commissioner Goodell, Mr. Popkin participated in a number of interviews with the law firm handling the internal investigation. Has NFL looked into these allegations against the former coach?
Listen, all of those allegations should be treated seriously.
You're working with the firm, has he, sir?
All these allegations have been treated.
So the allegation of groping a public relations staffer was investigated.
All I can tell you is we've hired an independent investigator.
Yep, got it. I got it. They did the same thing at that previous job I was at. They did the same thing and wrote it off. Committee staff conducted another deposition, Commissioner, this time a former president of business operations, a CEO, Brian Lafimina. He testified that he raised allegations made by Rachel Elgelson, a former Commanders employee, about the misconduct of Commanders executive Larry Michael. Ms. Ingleson alleged that Mr. Michael, quote, would touch her face in an unwanted fashion, talk about her looks in front of the large audiences, and kiss her. Mr. Lafimina says that he brought these allegations to Mr. Snyder's attention in July 2018. According to Mr. Lafimina, Mr. Snyder's response was, quote, Larry was a sweetheart and Larry wouldn't hurt anybody. 2 years later, in July 2020, Mr. Michael resigned from the club after seven former employees said he routinely discussed the physical appearance of female colleagues in sexual and disparaging overtones. He even made crude comments about an intern. Take a listen to what he said, Commissioner, if we can play the audio, please.
Up the OTAs in this edition of Redskins Nation right after this. Way to go, buddy.
Thanks, man. I couldn't tell if you wanted me to go longer or shorter or what.
I do think our intern is looking better every day. I do think our intern is a little blonde there talking to Ace. Is it blonde and black?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
The hell of an outfit in the middle of June.
She's looking freaking pretty good. I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
240.
Unbelievable, so disgusting. Mr. Snyder wasn't hands off. He simply turned a blind eye to the conduct he didn't want us all to see, right? This is all too common in the American workplace. Commissioner Goodell, is this acceptable way to run a team?
That example you just showed me is not acceptable and is.
It could have been your daughter, sir. It could have, I mean, it literally is disgusting.
I completely agree with that.
Would you commit to doing more? I mean, right now you keep saying you did everything possible. You're studying, you have to do more. Yes or no, are you willing to do more?
Yes, of course I'm willing to do more. I never said that we were going to stop. I actually said the opposite.
But
We
you
will
have the
continue.
authority to recommend that Dan Snyder be removed as a team owner.
Okay,
You can recommend
the
that Dan
gentlelady's
Snyder be
time
removed
has
as a team owner.
expired. The gentleman may answer her question. Your time has expired. You may answer her question. Should Dan Snyder
I
be
think I'm
removed?
good.
Remove him. Will you remove him?
I don't have the authority to remove him, Congresswoman.
Okay, the time has expired.